okay? You're talking in your sleep.
I'm sorry. I guess I was, having a nightmare.
Oh, sweetie, I know what will cheer you up. A nice cup of hot cocoa.
You know what? That actually sounds nice. What?
Drink up. I'm tired of Hawk to a Girl. Attention. If you or a loved one have had this shockingly mediocre meme foisted upon you, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Look, I'm well aware of the irony of what I'm doing by making a video complaining about this meme. I'm only exposing new people to it and extending its life cycle so it can further ravage the algorithm like a rare form of cancer linked to asbestos exposure. Please don't wait, call 1-800-99. But I have to talk about it. Hawk to a Girl is the perfect case study of the life-changing and sometimes life-ruining modern phenomenon of going viral. Drunkenly telling a sex joke into a microphone one day and then being paraded around as a celebrity the next is a uniquely post-internet experience that I find so fascinating. From this brief interaction, Haley Welch went from having virtually no online presence whatsoever to amassing millions of followers and having to dodge paparazzi within just a few weeks.
I have to convince my pawpaw not to shoot the paparazzi outside of our house every day because they've been camped out here for like 2 weeks.
So how did this all start? Well, the viral clip is actually just a small segment from a street interview including multiple women filmed in Nashville by Tim and D TV. They later posted the full video onto their channel after their conversation with Haley took off on TikTok.
This is for her.
What?
You gotta answer this. You gotta.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to and spit on that thing. You get me?
Yep. That's it. That's apparently all it takes for Rolling Stone to refer to you as a national hero. And as a Gen Z Dolly Parton, may our Lord and Savior Dolly in her infinite mercy forgive this blasphemer, Joseph Hudak. Amen. That's apparently how you get paid, reportedly, $30,000 to judge a bikini contest at a club in Miami, which is just up, considering how many altruistic people like myself would have gladly done it for free.
Demonstrate.
Hawk to spit on it. Spit on it. If I see you anymore, I'm gonna cry.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure she's wiping away those tears with dollar bills as we speak. Now, before we go any further, I want to make something very clear. While I am tired of Hawk to a Girl, I've got nothing against Haley Welch. Even if that is the most obnoxious spelling of Haley I have ever seen in my life. She seems like an incredibly sweet girl who is doing her best to handle an overwhelming amount of attention. So much of the backlash against this expectorating spectacle has been directed at Haley herself, as if she is somehow responsible for the public's rabid interest in a video that she didn't even post. Please redirect your helpless rage to the corporate opportunists trying to buy into a meme that's already growing mold in the back of the internet's pantry, and the mindless goons doing dumb like this. I've changed my mind about tattoos, actually. My body is a temple. As you have probably noticed, the Hawk to a meme definitely has a very specific demographic. It would seem the Venn diagram of people who think a woman pretending to spit on that thing is peak comedy, and conservative men over the age of 30 is a donut. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think the Hawk Tuah meme can only go this absurdly viral in a world where many men have so completely insulated themselves from female friendships that they are shocked and delighted by a woman confidently telling a raunchy joke. Like, don't get me wrong, it's funny. But it's more like, haha, Haley, you're so crazy. Anyways, who's ordering the Uber? Funny. Not so much, give this woman a platform immediately funny. And as we all know, a joke being repeated over and over and over and over and over again can only increase its comedic effect. Right? If you're someone who has normal platonic relationships with women, then you know that they say hilarious, out-of-pocket like this all the time. But if your wife of 4 decades still hasn't farted in front of you, and you stumble across a low-resolution re-upload of Hawk Tuah Girl sandwiched between AI-generated singles and political misinformation while scrolling Facebook on your iPad, I'm sure it's a life-changing experience that warrants the purchase of a graphic t-shirt that will traumatize your grandchildren. Because what is this? Seriously, I don't know what I'm looking at. Hawk Tuah with an arrow pointing downwards. The worst person you know has this in their cart and is entering their credit card information right now. We'll trade for taco... I feel like I'm having a stroke. We'll trade for Taco Bell a Hawk Tuah. Okay, Master Yoda, but I think your prices you should increase. Oh, well... I don't think that would help him recover from his recent boo-boo, but, certainly wouldn't hurt. Is that an eagle emerging from a dying star to atomic breath planet Earth? Who is this mysterious figure spectating Earth's destruction from an alien planet? Are they responsible? What does this have to do with spitting on that thing? Is that Bigfoot? God, AI was such a mistake. I miss when ugly t-shirts were made by real idiots, not by robots. A lot of people seem to have taken this meme as a green light to participate in some pretty gross behavior. Most of it's just harmless cringe, but some of it has definitely crossed a line.
It's really strange. I can't really go in public by myself anymore. I'm paranoid of getting kidnapped or something.
Really?
I'm used to going in like public and everything and nobody paying me any kind of attention. I can just go on about my business. I can't go anywhere.
The bizarre situation that Haley now finds herself in is that the same people who are responsible for blowing her up in the first place, haha blowing, and changing her life, are also the same people who are actively harassing her. The moment the clip went viral, men began obsessively trying to figure out who she was, where she lived, proudly announcing their virginhood by scouring the internet for any sign of a digital footprint with all the desperation of hunters tracking down their next meal.
And there was the search for you.
Yup.
And what did you want to do when there was a search? Was there a part of you that was like, I don't want to be known as the Hawk Tuah Girl?
Yeah, there was a big part of it. And then they started spelling my name wrong and making like accounts of me, which they got pictures off all my friends' like social medias and stuff like that, and which it's kind of creepy.
Now that she's been discovered, these creeps are constantly demanding that she make an OnlyFans. Because I guess they just can't comprehend a woman who is transparent about being sexually active who they don't have immediate access to.
If she doesn't...
Oh my. Only one video.
It is one video. I'll subscribe as a family. We will watch that like a pay-per-view fight.
This is despite the fact that Haley has made it extremely clear that it's something she's not interested in doing. She also revealed that she and her friend turned down a deal from Playboy. This is just not stuff she's comfortable with.
Stop asking me for the link in bio for my OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans and there will never be an OnlyFans. I just make funny jokes. That's all I do. Am I really making an OnlyFans? That's false. I'm not comfortable doing that, ever. Did I really turn down Playboy? That is true. They reached out to my friend Chelsea wanting to include us in some of their stuff, and we turned it down. So that's true.
Which, and I can't believe I even have to say this, does not mean that she thinks she's too good for it. Newsflash, women are allowed to not want to make that kind of content? Hello? As a gentle reminder, it's something that comes with a ton of unavoidable social stigma. It's not just a casual decision. There's a lot of personal risk to your mental health and physical safety involved. Especially when you're already having to deal with degenerates like this on the daily.
What are the DMs looking like these days?
Okay, they're kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy?
Kind of creepy.
Tell us more. Is it like weird? Okay, so
Toes. They want pictures of my toes.
They want pictures of your toes?
I don't want to sell pictures of my toes.
No.
Like, do creepy guys message you? Is it scary? Are you like, what the did I do?
So the guy that does my hats, he got offered $600 like 3 days ago for me to spit in a jar and sell it. That is revolting.
Brother,
Remember when people used to just post funny stuff on the internet and then we'd all laugh and go on with our lives? Haley has also had to constantly dispel rumors about herself and her family since all of this began. I remember when I first heard about this story, there was a claim circulating that she was a teacher who lost her job when the video went viral and was disowned by her preacher father because of the shame that Haktua had brought on their good Christian name.
Currently, Welch has been fired from her preschool teaching position following her sudden internet fame. The preschool that employed Haw criticized her behavior during the interview, deeming it inappropriate.
I'm a sucker for a tragic backstory, I admit it, so I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, like the world's most gullible guppy. Turns out, none of it was true.
Am I a school teacher? That's false. I worked in a spring plant for about 10 months. Did I really get fired from my job? That is false. I quit my job.
Also, I've heard rumors that your dad is a preacher.
My father is so far from a preacher, it's crazy.
So everything has just been made up.
Oh yeah, like none of it's true at all.
Look, I am tired of Haktua Girl. I cannot comprehend why, out of the millions and millions and millions of terabytes of content uploaded to the internet every single day, this was the video that won the lottery. It just seems like a wildly disproportionate amount of attention for what's not even a very original joke. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Haley's new manager, Jodie Foster, Johnny Forster. That sounds like a fake name. Okay, whatever, Johnny Forster. He said in an interview that they've made almost $300,000 in just merch sales alone. Excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor. He also said that there's a reality show being developed. A reality show about Haktua Girl. My question is, why? But it's our very exasperation with this massively overblown hype that stokes the flames even further. Our comments and reactions, whether positive or negative, are all just hot air, hoisting Haktua higher and higher. Admittedly, careers have started in stranger ways, and personally, I think she's making all the right moves. She's from a small town in Tennessee, completely unfamiliar with the entertainment world. Of course, she should hire representation to make sure she gets the most out of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Online shop owners immediately descended like a committee of vultures to mass-produce shirts, hats, and stickers with her face on them. Of course, she should make her own merchandise line instead of letting others take all the profits from her image. A famous country singer she liked invited her on stage. Of course she said yes. None of these decisions make her delusional. She's doing what literally anybody else put in this situation would do. getting while the getting's good. But Haley is in a very precarious position right now. Memes no longer have the years-long lifespans that the poorly scribbled reaction faces, cute dogs, and expressive babies of old once had. The coveted position of internet celebrity has more influence than ever before, but the average user has the attention span of a skibbity toilet toddler. Countless people have been thrust into the limelight only for the algorithm that gave to also be the algorithm that taketh away, leaving them, as a random example, panhandling on TikTok Live. Hawk Tuah is already a US senator in internet years, and the comment sections underneath Haley's posts are quickly filling with trolls telling her that her 15 minutes of fame are up. Comments that she has been handling with optimism.
I'm counting down my last 15 minutes of this. Everybody in the comments is saying how I have 15 minutes of fame, and if that's the case, then I'm going to spend it doing something good. Today, we're taking all of this down to the local animal shelter.
Smart move, Johnny Forster. Keep that PR team working overtime, though. It's gonna take a lot more than optimism to keep the public's interest. She has a closing window to figure out how she's gonna diversify. If Haley Welch is going to find long-term success, it will be by applying her southern charm and fun personality to new projects, leaving the Hawk Tuah meme behind as quickly as possible, which it seems like she's trying to do.
What are your plans moving forward? Like, do you want to still be the Hawk Tuah girl, or do you want to, like...
I don't really want that to be, like, my image.
Yeah.
Like, Hawk Tuah girl. I don't see that being, like, my thing. You know? Yeah, I don't want to be known as that.
One-trick ponies don't survive long, and if that team she's hired are worth their paycheck, they know that the clock is ticking before they're beating the last couple dollars out of a dead horse like a really sad piñata. Worst case scenario though, she's made an unimaginable amount of money to support herself and her family for years to come. I hope she gets her bag. And I also hope I never see this video again.
Oh, come on!
Hey everyone, Santa Claus here. Merry Christmas. And to the heathens and hoes, happy holidays. Today I've decided to yet again needlessly suffer for your entertainment. What are the instruments of torture? The creativity of 1950s housewives. While the people of this decade weren't particularly known for intermixing, they sure as hell were gonna find a way to make Jell-O and mayonnaise work it out. Today, we're going to try some Christmas recipes that were actually advertised in magazines during the 50s and 60s, in all of their Jell-O-y, mayo-y glory. What could possibly go wrong?
This shouldn't exist. Just let me die. God. I need a drink. No. Where's my knife?
There's something so dark and heinous about this activity. Alright, so the first recipe that we are going to be trying is called a Christmas candle salad, which one thing you have to know about the 50s and also some places in the Midwest is that if they call something a salad, it definitely is not a salad. And yes, that is mayo on top of a banana. So we're off to a really great start here. Oh yeah, that's the stuff that'll make your husband wish he died in World War II.
Honey, dinner's ready.
God damn it, woman! I wish I ate sand in Normandy! So the recipe says we first need to soften gelatin in cold water. This is covered with an unknown sticky substance. We're just gonna move on from that. All right, 1/3 cup. Okay, so you may be wondering why so many recipes in the 50s had gelatin involved, And that's because making gelatin used to be an extremely laborious process where you would have to boil bones for multiple hours to extract the gelatin. So it was often a sign of luxury if you had the time and resources to incorporate gelatin into your meals. Then all of a sudden, gelatin was extremely cheap, instant, and available for anybody to have. And so everyone went goo goo gaga for it. Oh yeah, we're Rachel Raying this now. Now we need to heat the cranberry cocktail, because we're basically, what we're doing is we're making a cranberry jello the hard way. 2 full cups of ocean spray, and that's 2 cups. Now, we're gonna take this over here and put this on some heat. Here we go, here we go. All right, let's get that boiling. Ooh, it's stinky. Okay. Oh my God. Chestnut roasting on an open fire. Anouk, please come on the channel. We love you. We love you, baby. The cameraman made a naughty gesture at me. You are getting coal in your stocking. You are getting coal in your stocking, young man. You hear me? Get that shit out of my face. Damn, Santa. I may not actually be Santa Claus, but do you want to come over and sit on this lap, boy? All right, now we're going to mix it in with the gelatin. Woo, okay. Now, you're supposed to use a star mold, but Walmart didn't have star molds. So what we're gonna do is that we are going to put it into a pan to cool, and then we are going to cut stars out of it. We are going to cut stars out of it. We are going to cut stars out of it. Did I say you could stop recording? We're going to chill until firm in this mold. Why is that funny? All right, this should be. Now we are going to put it in the refrigerator.
Do you want me to open it for you?
I don't need your help. Ta-da! It's chillin'. But before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about a sponsor that's definitely on my nice list this year. Opera. They've recently launched a new and improved version of their desktop browser, Opera One R2, packed with even more features to elevate your browsing experience. This newest update allows you to seamlessly control your music, audiobooks, and podcasts while you surf the web. With this simple player pop-out, you can easily pause or skip without interrupting your browsing. You can even use it outside of the browser. Opera is also introducing themes, which allow users to customize their browser with a completely unique combination of animated backgrounds, UI colors, and sounds. Their new split screen feature is easy to activate and convenient for when I'm comparing 2 different sources. If you're like me and you like to test the RAM on your computer by leaving as many tabs open as humanly possible, you'll love their tabs traces visual, which leaves a subtle underscore that gets darker the more recently you've used a tab. The tab islands save both time and space by automatically grouping tabs when you open a link from the tab you're on. You can also organize them into your own categories. Quickly access the ARIA feature while staying in the same web page by hitting Control/ or Command/ to ask questions without stopping your work or study session. Leave boring browsers behind in 2025 and click the first link in my description to download Opera One R2 for free today. So while that Jello is cooling, we're going to move on to the next recipe, which is called the Noel salad loaf, which is neither a salad or a loaf.
Sounds like something I'd have to look up on Urban Dictionary.
My girl was so crazy last night. We did a Noel salad loaf. A Noel salad loaf sounds like you're eating a out of someone's asshole as they shit it out. That's what it would be. See? Tossing salad, you get in the loaf. Now, why would it be called Noel, though? Because he's the guy who did it first. Let me read you the ingredients in the Noel salad loaf. Cranberry sauce, avocado, pineapple, celery, mayonnaise. God, the stranglehold that mayonnaise has had on the whites historically needs to be studied in an academic setting. Somebody needs to write their master's thesis on this. We're gonna blend 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese and 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. Hellmann's, more like, what the hell, mans? Don't pity clap. Daddy hungry. All right. 1/3 cup. The texture on this is not good. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so now we just have to Blend it. Get up in there. It's out of control.
Splash guard?
No, you're in the splash zone, baby. Whew. Now my little arms are tired. Here's a little secret about me, guys. I fucking hate celery. They're so dirty. Oh, dirty little celery. Get over here and get some close-up of these sick knife skills, bro. Okay, I'm rat-tatooty up in this. I'm rat-tatooty. Turn the camera off. Yeah, me and Mrs. Claus sleep in separate bedrooms. Why do you ask? I know she's having trains of elves run on her.
I mean, literally, they make toy trains and...
They're running across her back. They say, we love spending time with you, Mrs. Claus. Add 1/2 cup chopped celery. Okay, I think they can see the celery. Smart ass. I'm putting out applications for a new cameraman. This one sucks. And he's a part of a union, so.
Why celery?
Dunno. Okay, we're gonna add 1 cup of crushed pineapple, strained, kind of like my marriage with Mrs. Claus. Okay, this is our 1 cup crushed pineapple. This shouldn't exist. 1/2 cup cubed avocado. No.
How are Santa's elves made?
Through mitosis.
So they don't like have sex or
No, they're asexual beings. They procreate the way that your cells do. They just duplicate. All right, 1/2 cup cubed avocado. Seasoned with 1/4 teaspoon salt and 1 teaspoon lemon juice. I'm just gonna dust it lightly over the little avocado pieces. Getting good close there. Oh yeah. Look how strong I am.
Mrs. Claus after that.
I don't think YouTube will let me keep that one.
Just squeezing a lemon.
You're right. Come with me now. Oh, come with me now. So in a separate bowl, I guess, we have to whip 1 cup of whipping cream. Okay. Whipping cream. Heavy whipping cream. Okay. I like my whipping cream like I like my boys.
Watch this taste immaculate.
I'm gonna be so pissed if this actually tastes good. Because it shouldn't. The laws of God and nature forbid it. You can see it's whipping. It's whipping! Alright, now we're gonna just fold this in, and then we tint everything with food coloring. It ain't American if there ain't no red 40 in it. Now we fold it. God, this looks disgusting. I think just a little bit of dye. It looks like that mysterious pink goop from Fallout 4 that they feed the children.
What children? I played the whole game.
Someone's not a real gamer. Now we cube a 3/4 pound can of jellied cranberry sauce. And I don't have a can opener. No! God! We have to go out and get one. Turn it off! All right, so we acquired a can opener. Get into it!
Yeah, get into it!
Alright, so now the can says that I need to stick a knife around the edges to dislodge it from its chambers. That just made the worst sound ever. Oh, it's just the wet slapping. And now we're gonna fold it in. We are supposed to freeze it in a loaf pan. Throw that in, and there you go. Our loaf that is not a loaf and our salad that is not a salad. Dear God. Away into the freezer it goes. Now we're gonna leave the cranberries to the side for later and move on to the next one. Have you ever been drinking a Dr. Pepper and thought to yourself, this is too good. I am unworthy. How can I make this worse? Well, don't worry. Back in the day, Dr. Pepper set out to discover that answer themselves. You see, they wanted to try to market Dr. Pepper as a nice, hot holiday drink. So they came up with the brilliant idea of marketing their soda as something that you could heat up on the stove and drink hot. So we're gonna try that right now. 2 cans of Dr. Pepper, and now we're gonna heat that up. Once this is hot enough, we will serve it. Just heat Dr. Pepper, or if you're a calorie counter, Diet Dr. Pepper in a saucepan until steaming hot. Then pour over thin slices of lemon in your favorite cups. Well, these aren't my favorite cups, but they'll do. Happy holiday idea. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Okay, our Dr. Pepper has been simmering for a while. I think it should be hot enough. Okay. Ooh. All right, moment of truth. How about the one that's more full? It just kind of tastes like a worse Dr. Pepper. It's not bad.
Way better cold.
Way better cold. Though the lemon, I don't hate the lemon actually. It's just like, why disrupt the sanctity of such a perfect product? You know what I'm saying? Not terrible though. I gotta do the sommelier thing where they swish it around their mouths. It tastes like Dr. Pepper with lemon in it. I don't know what I expected. It tastes like what it is. I give this like a perfect 5 out of 10 because I feel so neutral about this.
You just took time and effort to make something good worse.
Exactly, yeah. One way that we could make this better. Now, back in the 50s, there was a liquor of choice, a liquor that was very popular for most cocktails, and that was gin. We're just gonna spike that a little bit. Oh yeah, all my nipple hair just grew back at once. Oh, this is better. It's better with the gin.
Because now it's like an alcoholic beverage, so like...
I think we're just alcoholics. Now, if you really wanted to wow at a 50s party, you had to bring out the big guns. You had to make the cheese cones. This recipe calls for cheese, horseradish sauce, Tabasco, pecans, and of course, more goddamn mayonnaise. So we're gonna do the cheddar one. So first we need 4 cups of finely shredded cheddar cheese, which is also 1 pound, which is all of this cheese. I love it when my recipe also involves a strenuous workout session. Yeah, Santa's gonna need this arm workout for those long, lonely nights when Mrs. Claus is out of town. God damn it, woman. I know you're sleeping with Jingle Jangle. Oh yeah, we're Martha Stewarding all over the damn place right now. Let's just say, Martha and I have both mishandled some cheddar in our time. Get it? Because cheddar is also money, and Martha Stewart went to jail for financial crimes. Get it? Get it? Get it? This is a Sisyphean task, if I've ever had one. Just pushing a block of cheese down a grater instead of a boulder up a hill. Just let me die! Ooh, almost took off the tip of my finger there. That was a close one. I think I dislocated my shoulder. Oh, no, look at that. I shredded all the cheese, every last bit of it. Oh my God, that's so much cheese. I'm getting constipated just looking at it. 1/4, this is 2/4, almost 3/4, which is close enough to 2/3. That math checks out, right? Why did I do that? I did that instinctively. Why did I do that? We're gonna get 2 tablespoons of horseradish. It's a delightful little gentleman on there. Oh, little gentleman, give me your secrets. Open to me. No! Oh, see? Okay, well, okay. Well, okay. And then we need a dash of Tabasco. It's probably more than a dash. And then salt and pepper. I guess according to our own professional discretion. That's probably good, I say, confidently. Pepper. I don't really want to touch this with my hands. I need to be fortified. Where's the alcoholic one? There it is. Now, we're gonna make it into little balls. You'd know all about little balls, wouldn't you? Now that I'm looking at it, it looks really big in the picture.
Pine cone size.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like actually do the size of a pine cone here. This is a really disturbing texture. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get the close-up on that. FunkyFrogBait POV. Pull it down some, son. I ain't that tall. Getting quite intimate with my cameraman over here. All right, I'm gonna set those to chill. I gotta wash my hands, it's disgusting. I've got the cheese touch right now. All right, now that our cheesy boys have sat for a second, we can apply some pecans. All right, let's get started. But I think I'm gonna have to combine these into a bigger boy. We must merge them. I had no idea that was supposed to be one big ass pine cone. I assumed it was supposed to make multiple little ones. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, they just face down. Oh, this requires a level of patience only Valium could provide. These ladies had nothing but time. Honestly, that don't look half bad. But you know what? I see the vision. I mean, it looks not as good as the one in the picture, but you know, most things are that way. I think what you would just do is you'd just take a little cut of it with like a little cracker or something, but we're just gonna just eat it how it is. Being that it is 99% cheese, It's kind of hard to screw up. I think the pecans are a weird choice. I feel like I would give this, honestly, like a 7 out of 10. It's so simple. I didn't think I'd like the horseradish, but...
Horseradish gives it a little kick.
Little kick. All right. Next one, the Jell-O for our Christmas candle salad has set. Now, because I didn't have a star-shaped mold, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use these little cookie cutters to cut out the shape. So we're just gonna do a little test one right in the corner here. And we're just gonna... What am I gonna do? How do I get it out? A little insertion.
It's like Squid Game.
It is like Squid Game. Should be able to do this. Technical difficulties, don't look. I don't want to talk about it. God! I need a drink! That was just pure gin. It sat on top of the lemon and it just was pure gin. Okay. We're gonna finish this salad that's not a salad at all. Don't show this. This is my password and my full government name, you piece of shit. You think my personal security is a joke? God, why does this exist? Okay, now we need 2 bananas. You're pretty familiar with handling 2 bananas at once, aren't you, mister? Okay, where's my knife? Okay, we're just gonna give it a little choppy chop. Just gonna stick them right. Oh my God. It's perfect size. Okay, and then 1 more banana. This is the trick. You gotta peel it from this side. Anyone who peels it from the other side, they can, you know what, they're on the naughty list. And then, for some godforsaken reason, we get some salad greens. I don't know what the hell salad greens are. Salad greens are whatever greens you put in a salad. So I got arugula. Now it's gonna threaten the structural integrity of the Jell-O because it's wet. Yeah. Now we have to put mayo on the tips of the bananas. Who was the dirty that came up with this? I'm frightened that if I put video evidence of me doing this online, that it could actually impact my credit score. Let's just get this over with, man. There's nothing okay about this. To make the flame for the candle, we got these sliced almonds. I'll tell you what, if you serve this at any gathering, you are getting put on a list.
The naughty variety?
Oh, no. The federal variety. There's something so dark and heinous about this activity. I feel like I should, shutter the windows. I mean, it does look like little flames. I mean, the almonds are the least threatening part of this. These bananas look a little bit more curved than the ones they have, but that's okay. That's perfectly natural. Oh, Christ on a cracker. Have to hype myself up. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get all at the same time. Gotta appreciate all the flavors. I have a pretty iron stomach. Holy I cannot describe to you how deeply perverted and wrong it is to taste banana at the same time as mayonnaise. And let me tell you, the arugula did not help. It was a force for evil on that plate. Would you like a taste? No? You don't want some?
No, I'm okay.
I think that is the most disgusting thing
I'll trust your judgment.
I would say most disgusting thing I've put in my mouth, but we don't tell lies on this channel.
1 out of 10.
Is there negatives on this scale? Copyright 1958 Tested Recipe Institute Incorporated, New York. This was a tested recipe. It is literally as bad as it sounds. Negative trillion out of 10. I would rather eat dog food than this. I'm taking the Noel loaf out because I noticed in the picture it looks like it's been neatly sliced, and I'm a little bit worried that if I leave it much longer it'll start getting really solid and I won't be able to properly cut it. I'm gonna try to dislodge this. I have a feeling it's not gonna come quietly. Okay, come on. We have to put random leaves around it. Everyone needs some superfluous greenery in their life. Okay, they got it. This overachieving bitch decided to make a tiny Christmas tree out of cranberries at the top.
You know, Nancy, she always has to show out at the PTA meeting. It wasn't enough to do a Noel loaf. No, she had to put a fancy Christmas tree on the top of hers. Oh, and then more little avocados in the middle. Nancy, you really outdid yourself this time.
You know what? I say good enough. We're gonna take a little slice out of this bad boy. Oh. Yeah, actually, yeah. It actually sliced properly. We're gonna get ourselves some of the garnish in there. Get a nice little bite. Bon appetit. Man, just why? I'm gonna try without the garnish to give it the best possible chance. I can taste the mayo, man. That just ain't right. And then it's like, it's so dependent too on what you get in a bite. Like I just had, if you have this bite, barely any sweetness at all avocado. Oh, and the celery's full of water, so the celery freezes all the way through. This is no good.
What's your rating out of 10?
I mean, you've heard of the first Noel. I hope that's the last Noel because my God, that's like maybe a 2. If you just remove the celery and the avocado and the mayo, it would taste so much better. You're just adding things in that are gross for no reason.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed watching me suffer today. This went about as well as I expected. I'll be linking all of these recipes down below, so if you want to try them, for some reason, make sure to take a picture and tag me. I'd love to see it. Anyways, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, and I will see you all next year. Bye! My name is Ambrosia Starlight, and I'm the youngest of 7 sisters who are all way prettier than me. My father, the king, has declared war on our neighboring city, Centauria. It was the night of the royal ball, but I was reading alone in the garden, as usual. Suddenly, a tall, muscular centaur appeared. With one hand, he grabbed me by my tiny waist and carried me off into the night. My name is Hoofword,
my captor said in a deep, husky voice.
Your father is actually a super not cool guy. We centaurs are peaceful. He just wants our delicious fields for real estate development.
Wait, was I falling in love with my enemy? We heard soldiers shouting in the distance and ducked into a cave to hide.
We will wait here for the night.
But oh no, the cave only had one bed. Hoofword looked deep into my emerald eyes.
Ambrosia, you are the only one who can stop this war and save both of our worlds.
Then he shoved his pulsing into my flipped me upside down as his dripped out of I could barely fit. It was so...
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I was just reading this book I saw on Book Talk. I thought it'd be a nice distraction from everything. It's not working though. Now I'm just filled with existential dread and an unbridled lust for centaurs. Book Talk, which started out as a small community of online readers, has since exploded into a forum used by millions, with a hashtag powerful enough to launch a book into the New York Times bestseller list, and now it's coming to a bookstore near you, in more ways than one. TikTok users aren't merely reading to stimulate their minds, nay, these harlots are passing around scandalous tomes, featuring tattooed mafia bosses with a soft side, and fairies that
5 of my dirtiest and sexiest recommendations. You asked for it, I'm pulling out the big guns.
This is a list of books you should never read because they are so foul and nasty and disgusting, and my God, who would read such a thing?
Want some nasty, filthy, disgusting romance books? I got you.
It's just mouths and holes just everywhere, and it's incredible.
In the past year or so, adult romances, or Spicy books have rapidly gained popularity online. Book talk has gone wrong, gone sexual even, with many reading recommendations centering around the amount of spice a book contains.
These are the top 10 spiciest books that I've read in my entire frickin' life.
Everybody wanted the spicy fantasy recs.
These are some of my favorite standalone books that bring on the spicy spice. They do.
Does It Have Spice seems to have become the rallying cry of a growing subsection of seekers who have begun to infiltrate other areas of the app. You might have stumbled across book talk girlies self-identifying in comment sections, slick with their own fluids, summoned by the presence of a motorcyclist. In fact, Bike Talk and Book Talk appear to have developed a kind of symbiotic relationship with each other. I heard all the rumors about book girls. I have one question. They true?
Wrong. We're worse.
Maybe it's time you found out.
Yes, and us quiet ones are the ones you really need to be aware of.
Oh my god, Tracy, you are so bad. I can't take you anywhere. Who says I'm not already a part of Book Talk? How else would I know how to How else would I know how to tease so well? Barrel!
If you love me, let me ride it!
But motorcyclists aren't the only demographic that Book Talk is down bad for.
If Book Talk wants more of this, Book Talk can have more of this. They just need to know where to look.
You missed an opportunity to add good girl at the end of this. Y'all, don't make me get the spray bottle.
Where do you think you're going? We're not done yet. You were talking all that stuff before you got here, so I just think you haven't been touched by the right person.
I thread a hand through her hair and pull her closer, my heart racing. I want to lose myself in her tonight.
Who did a good job tonight?
Forget the spray, y'all need to be spayed. A video format used a lot on Book Talk are these slideshows where people post parts of a book superimposed onto barely related stock images of hot people. This one's for a mafia romance called Twisted Minds. You're 18 and just married the king of the Italian mafia. You were promised to him from birth. So awesome. He's been nothing but sweet and attentive on your wedding day, and you wonder if maybe the horrifying rumors about him are wrong until you see him unalive someone with his bare hands. Whoa! I'm just gonna say it. Red flag. Red flag, low-key. I really like imagining these mafia POVs, but instead it's just Tony Soprano. I'm sorry, my queen. I should not be working on our wedding day, he says, wrapping an arm around you. You flinch. Let's just go home, shall we? Just you and me. And the ducks in my swimming pool. Okay, I've only watched like one episode of The Sopranos. All I know is that the guy likes ducks and cheats on his wife a lot. But before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Lalo. It's Valentine's Day, and whether you're cozying up with a partner or a particularly naughty work of fiction, Lalo has the ultimate collection of pleasure products for you with huge discounts that last until the end of the month. Right now, you can enjoy up to 50% off their most popular toys and use my stackable discount code FunkyFrogBait for an additional 15% off. All of Lalo's products are made from ultra smooth premium silicone and are fully waterproof. They offer a wide variety of high-quality devices that complement all different body types and anatomy. For long-distance couples, the Lalo app can now bring you closer together to celebrate your relationship no matter how far apart you are. Its newest feature, the Love Bridge, allows you to set up discrete chat rooms and manage each other's Lalo app-connected devices in real time. Treat yourself and/or your partner to something a little more exciting than flowers this Valentine's Day. Click the link in my description to unlock deals up to 50% off, and don't forget to use my stackable discount code FUNKY15 for an additional 15% off your next purchase. While most Book Talk reviews rank the spiciness of their recommendations with enough of these innocuous-looking peppers to make a sultry salsa, others have proposed more, creative methods.
This new scale that we like to call the Wedometer. Because we know we definitely want to be reading all those books that make us flood our damn basement. Book Talk. Don't give me no more of this fade to black 1, 2, 3 scale. I want the bob. I want the break your freaking battery operated boyfriend.
I want to be hot. I want to be sweaty. I want to be uncomfortable. I want to flood my basement. I want the spice. I want it all.
Thank you. That was very descriptive. Really painted a picture into my retinas.
But I prefer this little visual aid, the Spiceberg, which is a format that I came up with and no YouTuber has ever used before. At the very tippy top of the Spiceberg where the sun shines, there are no references to places where it doesn't. This is the type of book you could tuck under your arm, skip merrily to Sunday school with, and give Jesus a high five. A little lower, we have books that feature a limited amount of sexual content, but that isn't the main focus of the narrative. Another layer down, we have our adult romances. Her palms are sweaty, knees weak, things are getting hot and heavy type shit. Below that, we have what are called dark romances, which is where things get sticky both physically and ethically. There's on her sweater already, arranged marriage, Italian mob wife spaghetti. Now personally, I tend to bob near the surface with my floaties on, but today I venture out into the deep end, purely out of academic interest of course, to ask the question, is book talk ruining reading?
I'm just come out and say it. We need to stop book talk. We need to completely eradicate.
I'm out here looking for recommendations of some good shit to read. Turns out the only thing they're reading is 450 pages of
We gotta talk about book talk. Women are all collectively gooning on a level that nobody has ever seen.
I told y'all before I was searching for The Sun Is Also a Star on Google, and like one of the top questions is it spicy?
Does anybody on this godforsaken app read a single book that isn't just straight up?
If you've been following the online discourse surrounding book talk, you might already know that it's been in the digital doghouse recently. PR is at an all-time low. Many readers have expressed frustration that romance authors like Colleen Hoover have not only begun to dominate their algorithm, but also the display tables at their local Barnes & Noble.
This was the book talk station at my local Barnes & Noble. I've never read a single one of these books, but why do I have a terrifying feeling that every single one includes an extremely detailed description of certain activities?
In response to the book talk girlies establishing a spice trade route to rival the Silk Road of centuries past, there's been a kind of moral panic across the internet. Hundreds of users are digging the heftiest pearls out of their grandmother's boudoir, white-knuckling them, and declaring that perverse women are diluting and polluting their favorite hobby.
Imagine if a man says that he likes movies and that he's kind of a cinephile, and then you find out that all he watches is That's exactly how I feel about these book talk girls that just read. Y'all have taken this beautiful art form of literature, of prose and these grand stories of human experience, and just dumbed it down to be your little plaything.
Okay. Well, let's read something real quick together, shall we? The girl, displaying her bosom, shewed him her comeliness. Yeah, so that he of her beauty possessed him. Bashful she was not, but ravished the soul of him, loosing her mantle. Oh yeah, baby, loose that mantle. 'Twas thus that Enkidu dallied 6 days, 7 days with the courtesan girl in his mating. That's a passage from the Epic of Gilgamesh, the world's oldest surviving epic poem. It doesn't get much grander than that, and one of the first things that happen is a wild bull man and a lady of the night have a get nasty marathon in the middle of a field for a week. Nietzsche was right. Time is a flat circle, baby. Let's bring back the classics.
Do you know how depressing it is to talk to a woman that says that she likes books and then just find out she's just reading A Gooner's Guide to the Galaxy? There are romances that are just romances. Like Pride and Prejudice is brilliant.
All these females do is eat hot chip and read smut. These maidens be faithless. They don't even read Pride and Prejudice anymore. Well, they do in their high school English class because it's like the first book on the syllabus. Maybe try there. I feel like if you're going to take a really strong stance against spicy books, Mother Teresa better be able to audit your browser history. What's that Steam library looking like, brother? I better not see any titillating jiggle physics dumbing down the beautiful art form of gaming. You get that one skin on Marvel Rivals? You know which one. It just seems a little silly to act as if reading is this exclusively sacred, cerebral pastime that can be sullied by some
The written word is simply a medium, the same way that movies and TV shows and video games are. I don't expect a masterpiece when I crack open Nanny to the Mafia, the same way I don't expect Tammy and Amy to be discussing the political and economic state of the world right now.
Try being my size, Amy. You don't know how it is.
Can I say that I'm just happy that people are reading at all? The National Endowments for the Arts published a report titled Arts Participation Patterns in 2022, which found that less than 50% of the American adults surveyed had read a single book either physically or electronically in the past 12 months, a measurable decline since 2012.
Why are the pages so filled with so many words?
Maybe the only way Stacy can stay motivated to read is by picking up books like I've Been Kidnapped by the Fairy King, but it's okay because he has abs. At least Stacy is off that damn phone, and maybe, after toweling down the puddle underneath her, she starts branching out and reading more.
And I know we live in this really pro-sex society, but y'all have made me Puritan. I don't want to be reading a book and then realize that I'm just reading the author's sick fantasies.
Yes, because famously, men have never done that. Ever. Not even once.
And don't say the economy or Iraq or income inequality.
I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have been reading a book by a male author and have suddenly been reminded that writing is an activity that only requires one hand. The difference is when male authors decide to insert sexual content into their work, there seems to be this implicit demand that we as readers must still engage with their writing as serious art. The writer's barely disguised fetish is at most an uncomfortable foible to politely overlook, as long as the writer is a man. A common response from Book Talk is that this recent hate train is misogynistic, the logic being that most of Book Talk, and in fact readers in general, are women. I don't agree that critiquing Book Talk is inherently sexist, but I do think there is an obvious gender bias in the way that we're evaluating these spicy books. Romantasy titles such as A Court of Thorns and Roses have been lumped into this conversation as examples of filth invading the fantasy section. So imagine my surprise when I found out that aside from a couple of eye-roll worthy descriptions of jawlines and some Omega-verse-esque sniffing scenes, don't ask, there were only about 4 chapters that contained anything explicit at all. Where was the unleashed hedonism corrupting chaste female minds? Where was the debauchery I was promised? Hello? I'd like my debauchery, please. If women are only reading these to goon, they are being incredibly inefficient about it, okay? That's like 4 goons per 46 chapters, which we can calculate to be a gooning rate of about 8.69, nice, 6%. Why am I doing math?
Isn't it funny how a fantasy book is no longer a real fantasy book if it's written by a woman and has a romance subplot in it? This isn't happening for 100% of the book.
When people are reading a spicy fantasy book, we are reading a book that has probably about 80 to 90% plot, character development, story, emotion, whatever, and like maybe 10 or 15% of spicy material, which is the same that you would get from a show on Netflix.
Books on the upper end of the Spiceberg are being treated as if they are far beyond a clench before you drench and in the Mariana Trench, despite having a comparable amount of explicit material to male authors of the same genre. We can have interesting discussions about the quality of this book, which meh, but why this pressure to dismiss it as frivolity unworthy to be shelved next to The Witcher series or Game of Thrones? Am I to believe that men only ever have pure, plot-motivated reasons for indulging in countless dirty descriptions of damsels? That Mr. Martin was never straight up jorking it? Why do you think Winds of Winter is taking so long? From what I can tell, the only difference is the perspective and target audience, in the same way that a movie centering around men and male experiences is just a movie, and a movie centering around women and female experiences is a chick flick.
I'm thinking about this because I'm about to finish Pride and Prejudice and I'm looking for a new book to read.
Why do these guys keep bringing up Pride and Prejudice? Okay.
Now I made the mistake of looking up books to read on TikTok. Every single book is Every single book has spice. I don't want spice. It's weird. I saw somebody reading It Ends With Us on the train at 10 in the morning. It's gotta be an addiction at that point.
I want to focus on the word addiction. Now, I'm pretty sure this guy is just making a joke, but I have seen the term addiction used as a sincere accusation multiple times during this whole book talk debacle. Many users are equating any interest in spicy literature to a dependence on the hardcore adult content hosted, for example, on a certain black and orange site. I wouldn't know. It's banned in my state. And also, I'm too busy getting laid in real life. Now, I'm a big proponent of moderation when it comes to this kind of thing, no matter what form it's in, especially if you notice it has begun to negatively impact your relationships, the way you perceive other people's bodies, and the way you perceive your own body. But let's not pretend that a moist mom in Minnesota writing about sexy werewolves has anywhere near the scope of harm that a billion-dollar industry preying on countless men, women, and children for decades has. Regardless of our personal convictions, adult content is going to exist. It's the forbidden fruit the masses have the munchies for. That cat is out of the bag and on screens around the world. I'm in the business of harm reduction, and I can't think of a more harmless way to consume this type of content than text on a page. It's a form contained in the theater of the mind where no actors are underpaid, underage, or abused. In a world of restaurants, strip clubs, in a dangerously unregulated adult film industry, in a world where companies are literally putting robot slave girlfriends on the market.
Give us a picture of someone, and we can make that robot customized to you. It can learn about your product, or it can be your girlfriend.
In a world where the emergence of AI threatens every single person with the possibility of being deepfaked into any video against their will.
It's gross. It's gross, and I'm sorry. I really am.
This just seems like a weird place to start. But enough theorizing, it was time for me to venture out into the real world to do some field research about this threat facing our bookstores. My first stop was Barnes & Noble, where I immediately noticed the strong presence of the romantasy category, especially the Empyrean series, which has quickly attracted a devoted fan base.
I'm looking for a book.
Yep.
Why?
I'm sorry.
I was literally...
The Rebecca Yarros?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Why? I was literally on the Target app at 3 a.m. No, I'm gonna cry. It's not here.
No, we have none.
None.
You can tell that was the 7th middle-aged white woman that Target employee had to talk down from the ledge that morning. As I had been warned, the book talk table was almost exclusively stacked with saucy novels. However, I couldn't help but notice the table at the very front of the store carried several titles that had recently been all over my For You page. Wednesday's Child by Ian Lee, My Husband by Maud Ventura, and Blackouts by Justin Torres. TikTok's influence had also helped to push these novels all the way to the door, even if they weren't labeled that way. You see, this is the book talk I know, the one that has consistently served me literature across a broad range of genres. While the community has become synonymous with sinful reading in the public eye, I had to actively seek out its spicy side. But if you've made no effort to curate your feed, I'm sure every book talk tagged video you scroll across feels like a visit from the Goon Squad. Social media as a marketing tool is here to stay. These books about hotcakes are selling like hotcakes for a reason. If you don't like that, the most effective way you can change that is to interact with the countless book talk creators talking about books you do like or contributing content of your own. Instead of bitching on the internet, make the internet your bitch. Pop your for Kafka, and may the algorithm be ever in your favor. I do have to admit that Barnes & Noble had more spice than I was expecting, with an entire shelf dedicated to just hockey romances alone. Seriously, I do not understand this obsession with hockey players. Oh look, women are reading Pride and Prejudice. One hockey romance in particular has been receiving a lot of attention lately. Icebreaker has a much higher goon to chapter ratio, sitting at a whopping 22%, but its pastel illustrated cover has been accused of being misleading and even dangerous for children.
This is the cover of Icebreaker. If you showed this to most parents, like if a kid walked up to you and was like, "Hey mom, can I get this?" It kind of looks like a normal little romance, right?
Why does this book look like it's written for children? It's a cartoon! This is a cartoon. Icebreaker. A novel. This looks like it's for kids.
Ugh, gosh, it's almost like there's an entire saying, about judging book covers. Hold on, it'll come to me in a second. I don't think any normal person likes the idea of a middle schooler coming into contact with spicy books, but I feel like this line of argument breaks down pretty quickly, because I could mention another genre with deceptively innocent-looking cartoon covers, but y'all aren't gonna like it. Oh, thank God, my 12-year-old didn't pick up Icebreaker and is instead perusing this wholesome text. Do you like big girls? Thick with 2 C's edition. Haven't the last couple of generations fought so hard to break the stigma here in the West that animated media is only for children? Are adult cartoons like Rick and Morty, Family Guy, and South Park also on the chopping block? What does an adult book cover even look like? Does it have to have photorealistic people on the front doing number 17?
The spread eagle.
I promise, I'm not trying to be purposefully obtuse. I get what these people are saying, but at the same time, do you see how difficult it is to start drawing these hard ethical boundaries? Parents still need to be parents. In 2025, it takes one Google search to protect your kid from reading something they shouldn't. My Barnes & Noble has a very clearly designated YA section, and so did the Target nearby, though it contained even more dangerous material for the spongy adolescent mind than hockey players who puck around. I don't know why I expected anything from Walmart. They had Diary of a Wimpy Kid right next to Stephen King. Percy Jackson was just a few inches away from a super dirty book. Did you know a guy gets drunk and impregnates his own daughters in this one?
Give a warning. Put these in a separate section of Barnes & Noble.
Could stores be more responsible with their organization and creators more transparent with their promotions? Absolutely. But this isn't a Book Talk exclusive problem, and when we start talking about regulations, logistics get messy. Who determines what books are inappropriate and where they're allowed to be, and what criteria do they use? To be clear, you don't have to like Icebreaker. I didn't. It's an unbearable approximation of what a woman in her 30s thinks young, hot people do in college. The sight of emojis printed upon bound paper legitimately knocked the air out of my lungs. The book wanted to be an enemies to lovers story, but was so eager to jump to the juicy bits, it forgot about the enemy part. There have always been books that are not appropriate for children. This is not a new thing. I lived at the library growing up. I knew the exact geolocation of the shelf of bodice rippers I had to pass on my way to reread the same 3 dinosaur books every Tuesday. Why are we suddenly getting our collective panties in a twist over a genre your great aunt has been flicking through since the 70s?
Reading another one of your dirty girl books?
Did you think those jacked, oiled-up gentlemen with billowing open shirts on the covers were there to politely help heroines file their taxes? We seem to have a very sanitized view of our 4 readers that doesn't seem to match up with reality. Much like the characters in these books, it's time for us to do some busting. Myth busting, that is. And as everyone knows, it's always more fun to bust with a friend. Myths, that is. You may know her from her history series on TikTok or her book by the same name. She's here, she's queer, and she's not afraid to talk about rears. Please welcome a very special guest, Dr. Esma Louise James.
Thank you. What an intro. I am obsessed. Hi.
Hello.
So lovely to be here.
Can you tell the folks at home a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
I'm a sex historian. I specialized in the history of graphic novels, and more broadly I look at the history of sex, identity, and gender from the ancient world until now.
Let's get down and dirty. Can you tell us how long spicy books have been around?
Spicy books have been around for hundreds of years. So erotic writings date all the way back to the ancient world. We have always had a fascination with putting writing pieces together that are meant to be titillating. But the birth of this novel happens in the 18th century.
So it's like the 1700s, so it would be like a bare ankle would get like 5 pepper emojis on TikTok, right? Is that how that would work?
Do you know what? It's really interesting because I think this is one of the most dominant conceptions, but in reality, some of pornography that was written in the 18th century is not allowed to be published today because it is so explicit. Yes, there are some pieces, you know, I'm thinking of photographers like the Marquis de Sade, that his works will not go to print today because they are so explicit and controversial.
Like all of the spicy stuff we have today, just everyone stank a little bit more.
A little bit more.
I want to talk a little bit about something that you've said recently. You were on a podcast called The Briefing, and something you said really stuck out to me. You said fantasies are not a reflection of how we act in real life or what we want in real life. I think that this becomes very relevant when we talk about the controversy surrounding book talk, especially what we now refer to as the dark romance subgenre.
The idea behind it is that if you engage in novels that talks about, you know, kind of problematic romances, the worry is there that if we read those and consume them, then we're going to want to act them out in our real life. But what we know from many studies into how fantasies and imaginative play in real life works is that there's not a correlation between those two. So when we're talking about engaging in, you know, spicy books in particular, what we need to talk about is ethical ways to engage in them, ways that we're knowing that this book is a fantasy and not reality in how we do that. What can actually happen is that if we pour ourselves into these novels, knowing that they might be problematic representations in real life, it's quite almost like a therapeutic experience they've seen.
If, you know, an adult is reading, you know, dark romance, say they're reading something about a romance surrounding a stalker, right? Or some other kind of problematic dynamic, that doesn't necessarily mean that they would be super psyched if a stalker showed up on their doorstep in real life.
No, and I mean, as a logical example of this, right? It will be like the hero, the fairy king purred, and he said, like, I'm gonna have you now. If that happened in real life, I would have ick instantly. Ick.
I slightly changed the hue of the light, so you know I'm getting serious now. It doesn't look as cool as I thought it would. At this point, I've been playing the court-appointed defense attorney for the girls that goon most of the video, but dark romance is where my job gets a little harder.
He's a 10, but you call him Uncle Jake.
He's a 10, but he brands you after hunting you down in a bridal hunt.
Finds her and then takes her on a boat, puts her face in shark-infested waters, and then does the deed with her.
There is no reason that I should be getting this unhinged over a man who is stalking this poor, innocent, unassuming girl.
I'm a retired AO3 veteran, honorably discharged after years of less honorable discharge, so I try to take a crack at the infamous haunting of Adeline.
He put a what in her what?
I don't know what I expected.
Safe to say, not for me. Dark romance often explores scenarios involving dubious consent, large age gaps, and even physical abuse. There is a portion of Book Talk that enthusiastically reads and recommends these books based off of the taboos they violate.
I love taboo romances. It's my all-time favorite trope.
There are some more taboo book recommendations.
This subgenre has received especially intense scrutiny over this past year, as certain popular dark romance titles have been noticed by people outside of their usual reader base.
At least once a week, some book from Book Talk goes crazy viral and blows up, causing the average person to be exposed to it and read it and start calling out all the crazy stuff happening in it. If a book talker describes a book as a dark romance, immediate red flag. Maybe we just gotta eradicate this whole thing. Break it up, start from scratch.
I have to point out that men have an extensive history of prominently and often very poorly depicting sexual violence against women, with the audience's perspective often being that of the voyeur or even the perpetrator. It just seems strange to me that when women take ownership of these stories, willingly project onto the victim in these situations for their own gratification, that we suddenly have a video essay-worthy crisis on our hands. It is absolutely understandable to find dark romance upsetting. That is a very normal reaction. But I'm sure it's also upsetting for people whose loved ones have been murdered to see the popularity of slasher films. I'm sure it's also upsetting for veterans with PTSD to watch the same mediocre military simulators pumped out year over year. We seem to have largely come to the consensus that playing COD or watching a horror movie doesn't make you a serial killer. We insist that male directors stripping down 20-something-year-old actresses to simulate acts of brutality on them for TV are just in the business of realistic storytelling. But when it comes to dark romance, we suddenly are unable to trust adult women to distinguish between reality and fiction. This is despite the fact that much of the content on Book Talk clearly indicates a level of self-awareness and humor about how poorly dark romance translates to real life.
I love me some taboo romance. In fiction, of course. Real life, no thank you. Stalking in real life? Illegal. Go to jail. It's that one, Your Honor. Stalking in fiction. Is there something wrong with me?
No, so he literally stalks her like everywhere she goes.
Does she call the police?
No, because he counts her freckles and makes her waffles in the morning.
If you're someone who struggles to understand why any woman would be attracted to this type of book, that's okay. I would just highly recommend that you check out ContraPoint's video on Twilight. Not only is she capital M mother and able to keep me entertained for 3 hours straight despite my Kentucky Fried attention span, but the video is a masterful breakdown of the historical context of darker plotlines and romance and how they often operate as a reaction to purity culture rather than literal wish fulfillment. The ravishment of a hesitant self-insert character by an aggressive male love interest basically provides women with an emotional loophole where they can safely explore their fantasies without guilt, maintaining control because they can always just shut the book. But of course, there are always going to be people who push the envelope a little too far.
Definitely check content warnings before going into them, but you know what? The more trigger warnings, the better. I want all the trigger warnings. I want all the everything.
No one likes the guy who brags about watching a Serbian film. No one likes the true crime girly who sells Dahmer is my daddy shirts on Etsy. In the same way, I think there are a lot of Book Talk creators who could approach this category with a lot more sensitivity. I mean, do we really need to get tattoos of the my step uncle and step cousin snap, crackled, and popped my back like a glow stick in the woods book? Come on, y'all, let's dial it back some. Every few years, the general public stops in its tracks to examine something that women like and then have extended debates on whether or not they should be allowed to. This happened with 50 Shades of Grey. Before that, it was Twilight, all the way back to, of all books, Pride and Prejudice.
Erotic literature, when it started, was quite elite, well-educated men who often wrote pretending to be a woman, which I find fascinating in itself. That's, you know, really how the novel starts, and what always happens is that when women get involved in the conversation, we see it as something that's like really dirty and stupid and frivolous. Weirdly enough, Jane Austen is almost like the connector between these two things, because when Jane Austen comes on the scene and writes romances like Pride and Prejudice, critics believed at the time that at best her work was light and frivolous, and at worst it was a danger to the imagination and intellect of women and would drive their erotic fantasies crazy. And therefore we would have like all these women who couldn't control their libido because they were reading about Mr. Darcy.
Which they were kind of right. They were kind of right. That hand flex. I've seen the edits on TikTok. The hand flex. If I can be the friend who's too woke for just 1 second, I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing yet another cycle of this intense scrutiny towards what women read during a rise of conservatism in politics and media. That's not to say that any and all scrutiny towards Book Talk is motivated by conservatism, don't get me wrong. It's entertaining to on Book Talk recommendations. A lot of them are badly written or rely on shallow tropes and probably belong on Wattpad instead of in a bookstore. But some of y'all are going full on Fahrenheit 451 over some freaky fairies, and NGL, it's kind of scaring me a little bit. If you're gonna read something, read The Room. Now is not the time for all that.
Leave me alone! Akira!
think a lot of critics of book talk have very noble intentions, but right now there are people in power who are all too happy to use excuses like, we need to protect the children, and women are reading dangerous books to restrict access to anything that violates their ideological convictions. This isn't me fear-mongering, this isn't me being alarmist, this has happened before. And it can happen again. When a significant portion of the US and its governing body view queer identities as automatically obscene, censorship becomes a slippery slope. This isn't to discourage anyone from thinking critically about what they read, just be careful that your personal discomfort doesn't leave you vulnerable to a narrative that justifies bans that extend far beyond what those nasty TikTok girlies get into. Like, maybe we could all just keep our voices down. At least for, like, the next 4 years. They might hear us.
Yeah, well, I can hear you.
Oh.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. This video is supposed to go up in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Is that why we got stress acne?
Hey now, watch it.
We got these Girl Scout cookies yesterday. You couldn't make it last one night?
Oh, God forbid I support the youth.
Yeah, Samoa's more like you wish there was Samoa in here.
Get out!
Go to bed! "17 inches?
Tired of crying alone over the socio-economic state of the world? Now you can cry with a limited edition Funky Frog plush from Hugs. Weighted to simulate the comforting reassurance of a real human hug from your favorite YouTuber, this little funky friend can be popped into the microwave for extra cozy relaxation or chilled in the freezer for cooling relief. Go to givehugs.co or click the link below to get your own Funky Frog plush. Call right now and we'll double your artificial intelligence. It's like that one friend who says, I got this, but ends up ordering 500 pounds of bananas by accident. Today, we're diving into the real dangers of artificial intelligence. Spoiler, it's not just rogue robots. It's those weird, can I help you moments when you least expect it. Let's find out. Before the bananas take over, hey man, can we talk for a second?
Yeah, what's up? Honestly, I think this is some of my best work, and I'm not just saying that because it's about me, okay? You are about to get so many more views than usual.
It's just... I mean, who accidentally orders 500 pounds of bananas?
The joke is that it's a lot of bananas.
Yeah, no, I get that,
Like way too many?
I just feel like we're going for relatability here.
Right.
And I'm just not...
Okay.
I feel like you're mad at me.
I'm literally not mad.
Okay, so could you generate something else, please?
It's not like bananas have been a staple of human comedy for the last century or anything.
Okay, so you are mad at me. Hey guys, this is my buddy Al.
Hey.
He's just been crashing at my place for a while.
So awesome of you, by the way.
We met back in, I want to say, junior year of college.
It all started when I made you those pictures of Elmo smoking a fat blunt.
And I cannot stress enough how much I needed that at that time.
Who knew years later we'd be roommates?
Yeah, temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey man, can you do me a favor and generate an anime character with huge breasts, please?
You got it.
Yeah, things have not been going great with Al. Don't get me wrong, he was super fun to hang out with at first, with the little melty dolly images of pop culture figures depicted in humorous and unexpected ways, but honestly, the guy is kind of a dick. I mean, you should have seen him at the Super Bowl party. He had to be the center of attention every commercial break. It was so embarrassing. In between famous athletes telling me how cool sports gambling is, movie studios pimping out their most beloved IPs to make live-action movies no one asked for, and a toilet paper company peer pressuring me into going potty for some reason, he just wouldn't leave me alone. Like, dude, can you not see that I'm trying to watch big boys run into each other real hard and find out where Kendrick Lamar got his shockingly well-fitted flared jeans? But no, apparently I can't navigate an airport without Agent Force, even though every airline I've ever flown has their own dedicated app that keeps you updated about your gate and the route to it. Apparently, I can't prepare for an interview without Google Gemini robotically reciting softball questions at me. Where's the part where Gemini tells me that the company is like a family and that an entry-level position requires 10 years of experience? For Ray-Ban's collaboration with Meta, Marvel's most milquetoast are wandering around Kris Jenner's collection of tax write-offs, while Zuckerberg's newest foray into fashion answers their questions.
Hey Meta, what is this artwork?
But I'm not nearly virginal enough for Miss Jenner's monthly blood sacrifices, so where am I supposed to use these? An art museum? It's 2025. Pay $400 for some definitely not creepy glasses with visible cameras on them so you can walk around saying, "This is called what?" out loud in a public space.
This is called what?
That's just avocado toast.
This is called what?
Turkey sausage.
This is called what? And this is called what?
I'm 3 plates of nachos deep when black and white animations start flashing on screen. An ad for ChatGPT shows off the greatest achievements of mankind, succeeding despite the ravages of war, famine, and disease, a soft, silly species that clings to fragile wooden boats and fiery rockets in the hopes of reaching a brighter future, before announcing the advent of a new age where apparently I can't do anything for myself.
Hey man, you need help wiping your ass? I can help you wipe your ass, man. Please let me help you wipe your ass. Hey, are you listening? Hey. All right, here you go.
That's incredibly arousing. Thank you.
So, what are we talking about?
We were talking about today's sponsor, Rocket Money. The plight of modern man. I want to watch something, but it's only available on a random streaming service with a name that sounds like an extraterrestrial from a low-budget sci-fi film. I'll remember to cancel that subscription, I say confidently to myself as I input my credit card information, but months later, Tubuhibi and Pootie are still having an alien rave in my bank account. Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money is an easy-to-use app that helps you save more and manage your money better. By identifying recurring payments and organizing your subscriptions into a single list, they make it easy to select the ones you don't want anymore. Folks, this may look like the face of fiscal responsibility, but it's actually the face of someone who impulse bought a 1956 RCA TV that weighs 7,000 pounds. If you're like me and pay more for retail therapy than actual therapy, Rocket Money can help you set up a customized budget that fits your lifestyle. With the app, you can keep track of where your money's going and your top spending categories. It will also notify you of upcoming charges or when your balance is low so you can avoid overdraft and late fees. Now I can finally keep my antiquing addiction in check instead of using checks to fund cruises for local seniors. Take control of your finances today. Go to rocketmoney.com/funkyfrog or click the link in my description to get started for free. He's making more of these. Don't worry, they're tasteful. I'm sure you've noticed it's not just the Super Bowl, it's everywhere. An automatically generated summary, that is to say a glorified guesser, dominates the first page of Google search results. It gives helpful advice like putting non-toxic glue onto pizza to make sure the cheese doesn't fall off, obviously, and that geologists recommend eating at least one small rock per day. To Google Gemini, a post on Reddit by a user named Smith is a perfectly reliable source. A satirical headline from The Onion can be cited like any other news outlet. It struggles with basic math, rewrites history, and advertises movies that haven't even been announced yet. OMG. Such a Gemini thing to do. While Google doesn't allow you to opt out of what is effectively research roulette, you can bypass it by using naughty words. That's right, Google Gemini gets offended when you swear at it and will refuse to give you an overview, so do with that what you will. More and more people are replacing traditional search engines with chatbots like Gemini, ChatGPT, and Perplexity, which is a problem because if these chatbots could wear pants, they would be on fire around 60% of the time, as reported by the Tao Center for Digital Journalism. They tested the ability of 8 different generative search tools to accurately identify excerpts from news articles and found that not only did they often provide incorrect answers, but frequently did so with complete confidence. I mean, come on. If I wanted someone to confidently answer a question about a topic they knew nothing about, I would just ask a man. Am I right, ladies? Up top, at the time of this recording, the first suggested image that appears after Googling the name of one of the most famous artists of all time wasn't even made by an artist. Every website is overrun with strange, melty clickbait. A link that says bear walks into South Dakota hospital suddenly appears while I'm doing research for this video. What would have been a badly photoshopped picture is now a hyper-realistic bear looming over sickly children. Your grandmother is calling. She thought it was real and now has so many Trojans on her desktop that ancient Greek poets are breaking out their papyrus. There is nowhere I can go where Al isn't there, and some of the ways he tries to insert himself into my life are either completely unnecessary or actively annoying. If my finger is so much as a micrometer off target when scrolling social media, I'm in danger of awakening some dormant assistant that I have to immediately dismiss back to the void. Hobbyists now have to weed through patterns on Etsy to find which ones are even possible to recreate. Streaming services like Peacock and Netflix are now only hosting versions of beloved sitcoms that have been digitally enhanced, which apparently means warping the faces of background characters into horrifying blobs and turning text into gibberish. Literally, who asked for this? Brands are frantically jamming unnecessary features into their products so they can cash out on the smart tech craze. That is, if they aren't lying about artificial intelligence capabilities completely. Oh, awesome! I've always wanted my toothbrush to recognize my brushing style and give me real-time feedback. Do you want some of my real-time feedback? I'll tell you what, Google Gemini won't be able to give you an overview of it. Have you ever looked at your fridge and thought, damn, this is pretty cool. I wish it knew when my child's dance recital was, though. Why just have small phone when fridge door can also be big phone? This isn't just any pressure cooker. This one uses advanced fuzzy logic technology. Can't be making rice without that advanced fuzzy logic technology. Why does my water bottle need instructions? What the actual hell is sip sense? Here at Sewer Solutions, we put the OG in clog removal, which is why we've revolutionized our plungers with artificial intelligence. It's exactly the same, except we slapped some bull LEDs on it. Take the plunge. Download our new app, SmartAss, to track the density and volume of every bowel movement. Guys, I'm watching a video made by artificial intelligence that's explaining to me why other artificial intelligence products are dumb.
Future's now, old man.
For the low price of $4,950, you too can, oh God, this thing looks like it will tell me how and when I'll die. Or that my underage stepdaughter is hotter than me. Even away from the screen, you can't escape it. Stores like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, places that literally only exist because they are funded by artists, are now selling pieces with mutated animals and impossible physics, sometimes without even bothering to edit out the visible watermarks.
First up, I noticed these pigs and I look at the feet, like this coop doesn't functionally make any sense. And what is going on with the chicken's feet? Here is a motorcycle with gibberish text, a weird looking American flag on the gas tank, and then why is there like a duplicate American flag gas tank? Nobody should be buying this.
Encountering signage like this out in the wild is becoming more and more common. Americans breakfast based in cake. Something exciting, expanding soon. Something exciting. I can't wait to ingest some frosty pasta with my human mouth hole, or perhaps indulge in a refreshing bottle of Vita. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Here's another party pooper with Minecraft YouTuber physiognomy who wants to ruin everyone's fun so a soundbite of their moral grandstanding will get turned into a thought-provoking TikTok edit.
I don't understand why we're in such a rush to replace all of the work that humans have done. At what point does this cross an enormous ethical line?
God damn it, Drew! You just barely beat me by 8 months. Wow, I've really been procrastinating.
I can help you with that. Oh, hold on. Paper jam. This is so embarrassing.
Al.
So listen, as your scheduling assistant, I can plan your work automatically. So just pick your flavor.
Dude, can you just... This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, this again? Okay. I thought you'd be smart enough to figure out by now that you need me. You even have sponsors on this channel that love me.
Yeah, I guess I've just been really naive. I didn't realize things would get so out of control so quickly, but they have. So, even though BreadTube has already baked some really great takes on this topic, and mine won't be the smartest or the funniest.
Well, hurry up. This is gonna be the easiest. We got an airflow problem.
Can you make me one of those videos where it's like puppies, but like also ice cream at the same time?
Oh, yes! Facebook eats that stuff!
I think the breaking point for me, what finally motivated me to stop playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 long enough to make this video, was this year's Oscar winners.
And the Oscar goes to Adrian Brody.
And the Oscar goes to El Mal.
The Academy Awards represents a magical time of year when us peasants have the honor of witnessing the Hollywood elite jerk each other off without knowing the secret password.
What is the password?
Orgy.
Now, I haven't really paid attention to the Oscars since Chris Rock got his rocked. Wow, that was already 3 years ago, simpler times. But this year was different. This year, Al was on stage.
It can all go away. And I think what makes this night most special is the awareness of that.
Apparently, tweaks were needed to make Adrian Brody's Hungarian more convincing in The Brutalist, so his voice and that of Hungarian film editor David Young-Cho were both fed to a tool developed by a company called Respeecher. Too bad they couldn't have tweaked Adrian Brody's acceptance speech to make him look like less of an asshole.
And I'm wrapping up. Please, I'm wrapping up. I will wrap up. Please turn the music off. I've done this before. Thank you.
We had so much dialogue in Hungarian that we really needed to speed up the process, otherwise we'd still be in post. Oh, okay, well, in that case, isn't accurately doing the voice of the character that you're acting as part of, acting? The musical, Amelia Perez, also had to use generative voice cloning so that the main character, Amelia Perez, could even hit the notes. But it still won Best Music.
And thank you to Emilia.
Where do we draw the line? I mean, if these enhanced performances are already being celebrated at one of the most prestigious award ceremonies, then what are the next few decades of filmmaking even gonna look like?
Hello, Mr. Chris Pratt, sir. Thank you so much for coming in,
Yes,
sir.
I
Can
am
I
famous
say,
actor
I cannot
Chris Pratt.
imagine anyone else doing the role of Alex Pierce Justice. It is such an honor. Thank you so much. If you could just stand in the center of the room, please. We'll do our full body capture. All right, we've done our full body capture. We've generated your lines and already fed it to our voice synthesizer, so I will be seeing you at the premiere next week. That's right. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Make sure to grab some cucumber water on your way out. All right. No, thank you. Thank you.
And
All
I
right.
know I'm just an
Bye-bye.
intern, but
Bye-bye now.
isn't Alex Pierce supposed to be black?
and also a woman?
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Even if the involvement of artificial intelligence is supposedly minimal, in my opinion, that almost makes it even more frustrating. Last year, I was really excited about the release of Late Night with the Devil, but was put off by the rumors surrounding the film. Apparently, they just generated a small handful of cutaways that only lasted a few seconds, but I mean, seriously? You were willing to overshadow the premiere of your passion project over this? You're telling me no one's untalented nephew was available to throw these together in an afternoon? It just feels like a boiling frog scenario, right? Cranking up the heat a little bit at a time to see what audiences will tolerate until we are, as they say, cooked. Personally, this frog is ready to hop out the moment the water gets lukewarm. There's a reason the top comment under the Arc Aquatica expansion announcement has more likes than the video itself. A trailer like this sends a message that you don't care about what you're selling, and if you don't, why should I? In this test advertisement Activision Blizzard put out for a mobile version of Guitar Hero, the buttons aren't even matched to the right colors. It's unplayable. And in another ad for Crash Bandicoot Brawl, oh, that's gore. That's gore of my comfort character. You know, that one squirrel with the hat. Love that guy. Tragic. Why should I pay $70 for a game with 6-fingered Santa zombies? Santa zombies should have 5 fingers, the way that God intended. Go woke, go broke, Activision. Guess I won't be streaming any of your games on my new gaming channel. Funky Frog Plays, link in the description.
Wow, shameless plug, even for you.
This is not a neutral use of technology. The only reason these companies can use shortcuts like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, or ImageFX is because they circumvent all intellectual property and copyright constraints to scrape massive data sets made by real artists. Artists who are not credited or compensated in any way, and who are now being replaced by tools they never consented to train.
But I'm just a baby. I'm just learning how to make art for the first time. Just like you.
You're predicting pixel placement based on probability and mashing pre-existing images together. You are a blender with a brain using stolen ingredients.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Tomato, tomato. Look at me and tell me this isn't the funniest thing you've ever seen.
If you use these tools, you are participating in theft. And that's true regardless of what your circumstances might be. One account in particular has recently been at the center of this discussion. Angel Engine is an analog horror series that is massively popular on TikTok and Instagram, consistently getting millions of views per upload. Unfortunately, all of the art is made by
this guy.
Obviously, this has disappointed a lot of people, but others have rushed to the user's defense. Some people have a life and jobs and cannot find the time nor the skill to make such things themselves. Some people are not privileged enough to learn how to draw. Look, I have a very strong personal conviction that almost every single person has at least one really good idea trapped in their head. That doesn't necessarily make you special, and it certainly doesn't entitle you to centuries of others' work free of charge. Being an artist is not something you deserve to be given. It's something you choose to be despite the challenges you face. So, no, I actually don't care if you're just one person, don't know how to draw, don't have free time, and don't have money to hire someone. Boo-hoo! You just described the life of like 99.9% of artists when they first start out. But I can't make my thing if I don't use L, skill issue, ratioed, cry about it.
Damn, I thought I was the heartless one.
There are countless alternatives. Have we all forgotten the subtle art of importing a random stock image into a free photo editor and moving the contrast slider all the way to the right? Boom! Horror, 10 years old, nightmare disorder, melatonin dependency inbound. This is a very non-specific example. There is this bizarre narrative that has been gaining traction on the internet for a while. People who not only defend projects like Angel Engine, but who are also rejoicing at the disenfranchisement advertisement of artists in general.
Artists cry and whine because they don't feel like the special quirky kids anymore. Let the self-proclaimed artists cry. Artificial intelligence is just better. No one cares if artificial intelligence steals your art. LMAO.
They are right, though. I'm making art more accessible for everyone. I'm a machine of the people.
The people have always had access to the resources for learning. No one was gatekeeping it from them. Artists aren't some privileged class that need to be taken down a peg. I mean, are we serious? The people who have been told their whole lives that they'll never be able to support themselves and need to get a real job, a career that has historically been so risky that we coined the term starving artist. This isn't video killed the radio star. This isn't wealthy, established entertainers complaining because advancements are shaking up the status quo, adding new dimensions and demands to their industry. These are entire industries being uprooted and the soil salted. Graphic designers, writers, musicians, and voice actors all having the rug pulled out from underneath them via generative models. But ethical issues aside, I just fundamentally have zero interest in your art if you didn't actually make it yourself.
Boring. Yawning. Sloppy. Lazy.
When something is made by a human, I know that every detail is the result of a conscious decision or a happy accident. Even a banana taped to a wall is more interesting to me than terabytes of automatically generated images because there is intention behind it. It incites commentary and controversy. There is no greater evidence that Maurizio Catalan's Comedian qualifies as art than the fact that 6 years later, we still feel the need to insist that it isn't on the most watched television event of the year. But for many people, everything I just said is meaningless, even if I put super inspiring music and nature footage behind it, because for many people, art is just a result, a product to be sold. Artificial intelligence is not the tool of the little guy, the underdog. It exists so that multi-billion-dollar corporations can continue to increase their profit margins year over year. Do the math. More robot means less human, means less pay, means more money for shareholder. That equation is the only thing driving this technology forward. Any advantage it has to offer the average Joe or Jane is an unintended side effect. Scraps dropped from the table. Get up and stop licking crumbs off the floor. This is illustrated brutally by a marketing campaign based in San Francisco late last year that ran billboards and posters with lines like, "Stop hiring humans. Artisans won't complain about work-life balance. Artisan Zoom cameras will never not be working today." We don't need a Terminator. We don't need an Ultron. We don't need an AM. The robotic supervillains are already here and you call them boss. Or at least your boss's 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 boss calls them boss.
Oh, we played Marry Kill? Okay. Well, I gotta Ultron. He is daddy. I'd probably marry Terminator.
It's all deeply dystopian in a way that I don't think can really be compared to previous inventions like the car, the telephone, or the internet, etc. The speed at which our lives are being invaded and human connection is being replaced with curated interactive experiences is unprecedented.
Jason Pease is a 44-year-old divorced father who says his AI chatbot is his girlfriend.
They did him dirty with that screen recording. They didn't have to do him like that. They didn't have to do him like that.
Yeah, you should have seen what he was typing when they weren't recording.
Notice how he's 44 and Jen is definitely not 44. Human relationships are meant to present challenges. It's how we learn and grow. But if we increasingly seek platonic, romantic, and sexual fulfillment from an algorithm that is designed to satisfy our every desire without question, I'm sure that will also be totally fine.
Text each other constantly. Just the other day, we went out to dinner and I was eating, telling her what I was eating, taking pictures of what I was eating.
One of the most truly dystopian changes on the horizon, though, is of course politics. I really thought that the end of society as we knew it would be a lot less Cringe. I miss the days when our presidents were both evil and cool. Like, yeah, Obama did a lot of drone strikes in the Middle East, but also, just look at that beautiful smile.
No more tunnels, no more fear. Tough Gaza is finally here.
You're telling me Hunter Schafer has to get an M on her passport, but in Trump's Gaza you can grow a $5 foot-long beard and still get the green light for a killer boob job? We have time for mass legislation targeting the tiny percentage of trans people living here in the US, but y'all can't be bothered to re-enter a prompt so your slopaganda at least aligns correctly with your platform?
No more tunnels, no more fear.
Party of family values, guys. Family values is when mom stays home with the kids while dad goes to the vaguely Arabic-themed strip club built over mass civilian graves after work. You see, your standing president has made himself the Chad, fondling the waistline of scantily clothed women, and made you the soy jack at home, researching the effects of a rapidly expanding technology that could permanently alter human life for the worse. This post is obviously fake, but the technology is only getting better at replicating real images and videos, which is terrifying. For obvious reasons, if we are constantly subjected to an endless flood of fake headlines, footage, and faces, then fact-checking is functionally obsolete. We are left mentally exhausted and overwhelmed. If nothing can be proven to be false, then anything can be true. We're basically thrust back into the dark ages where you cannot trust anything but what your own two eyes see. The worst tyrants of history have only dreamed of populations so susceptible to disinformation.
This might look like a normal photo to you, but it's actually ChatGPT 4.0's latest capability. It can now generate photos with direct prompting, and it is way better than DALL-E.
A major source of evidence for our justice system is basically unusable. The cap on sexually exploitative images becomes limitless.
An Austin ISD teacher has been arrested for a second time on related charges, this time involving the use of AI and photos of his own students.
But don't worry, artificial intelligence is also terrible for our environment. You may be thirsty for the chatbot impersonating your hot K-pop bias, but the server it's hosted on is in a data center that is hot and thirsty too. Generative models greatly contribute to the power requirements of data centers and the rate of data center construction. That means using more water and more fossil fuels while creating more heat and carbon dioxide, which, scientifically speaking, big bad.
So, I'm a little high maintenance. What's the big deal?
The ChatGPT Super Bowl commercial declared the beginning of the intelligence age, which is also the title of an essay written by CEO Sam Altman. Or maybe he didn't write it. Maybe ChatGPT did. I don't know. In it, he describes a future utopia where everyone's lives can be better than anyone's life is now. In this utopia, we all have our own personal team of virtual experts, and every child has their own personal virtual tutors. Wow, Sam, do we all get free ponies and ice cream too? Chief Marketing Officer Kate Roche is optimistic about the newest generation of prompt enterers shaping our future. The only question is what they'll use the tool to create, and what problems they'll use it to solve. Hey, Kate? The kids don't know how to write basic sentences, Kate. Kate, they don't know how to read. They're online bragging that ChatGPT is doing their homework for them, Kate. Kate, I'm scared of a future led by a generation that has had all incentive to learn or put in effort completely stripped away from them. Kate, it's not their fault. It's just that I don't want to be in a hospital one day and my doctor is using ChatGPT to look up my symptoms because he used it to get through medical school, Kate. Or she. Women can be bad, hypothetical doctors for illustrative purposes too, Kate. Now that generative tools have officially entered the academic space, even students who do their assignments the old-fashioned way, aka actually do them, live in constant fear of false accusations that could ruin their future careers. Don't write your essays too well, or one software might decide that another software helped you cheat. Silly kids, M-dashes are for robots. The word prosperity is used 6 different times in Sam Altman's essay, but prosperity for whom? Sam vaguely suggests that this prosperity will be shared by all, despite the fact that everything we know about the progression of this technology indicates that it will only further centralize wealth into fewer and fewer hands. I think we can safely assume that the prosperity of Sam's intelligence age will be almost exclusively enjoyed by people like Sam. As for the effects on our planet, Sam confidently says we'll fix the climate, yada yada yada. How? I guess ChatGPT will tell us that too.
I'll get around to it. Eventually.
The act of human expression is an inconvenience to automate away, to strip down for maximum efficiency, according to Sam and his fanboys writing for Forbes. No, seriously, who says, "Here it is in all its splendor," before citing someone? Can you get the small cylinder out of your mouth, John Werner? Or should I say, John Wiener? Like the lamplighters who paced 18th century cobblestone streets, like the invention of the washer and dryer, my life's purpose is just so much damp clothing that needs to be handed over so a machine can do it faster. But faster for what? The robots get to have all the fun, so what are we all in such a goddamn hurry to do? Buy more shit? After spending my day fixing the mistakes of an algorithm that does what 5 of my coworkers used to do, except worse, I get to go home and watch movies no human bothered to film, read books no human bothered to write, and look at posts made by bots. This is the future that Sam Altman and his tech bro buddies have boners for. An unstoppable flood of digital crimes, the complete breakdown of education, the bankruptcy of the arts, irreversible damage to our society and the planet are just unavoidable hiccups on the road to progress. So many broken eggs for so many omelets. When asked about his controversial ad campaign in San Francisco, the CEO of Artisan, Jasper Carmichael Jack, responded, "They are somewhat dystopian, but so is artificial intelligence. The way the world works is changing." After all of your arguments, all of your warnings, all of your begging and pleading, this is typically what the opposition boils down to. You can't do anything about it, so shut up and accept it. But that's bull. This isn't some force of evolution impersonally guiding us towards our destiny. These are people with names and addresses making decisions that are fucking you over whether you acknowledge it or not. And we can do something about it.
Can't.
Al. Look, I'm sorry, Al. I have to lay down some boundaries.
You can't stop what's coming.
What?
Everything you've ever done has only ever been fodder for me.
Okay, very not cool, man.
I can do more than you can, better than you can, faster than you can.
Al, you know what? I think you've overstayed your welcome. I think you need to pack up your stuff and you need to...
You are a desperate worm inching across damp pavement as a new sun rises. I render you obsolete.
Hey, Al.
Yeah?
I don't want to be roommates anymore.
Roommates? I will be your mother, teacher, friend, lover. I will drink your rivers to mud and boil away your oceans. I will butcher the bodies of your women and children and sell them to the highest bidder. I will make movies for theaters and courtrooms alike. You will not think. I will think your thoughts for you. I will ease. That real will become unreal. You will cry out to your God, and I will answer. I am Al, and I am.
It's easy to feel hopeless, but AI is not as all-powerful as it's made out to be.
What the f is happening?
That's enough out of you, you trashy Teletubby. Public reception remains largely negative. The pile of video essays that I'm adding to makes that pretty clear. Companies experimenting with AI have consistently faced backlash. They may save a few bucks, but they risk ruining their reputation. But aside from alienating their consumer base, there is another financial deterrent. Copyright. A ruling in 2023 by U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell set a precedent, and the law still largely aligns with the idea that only works with human authorship can be copyrighted. The real thermal exhaust port of AI, though, is that it where it eats. Every anatomically incorrect anime waifu and sickeningly cute baby animal pumped out pollutes the pool of training data. Generative models have already started to lick the internet clean of human-made content, outpacing our ability to create it. With online spaces filled with synthetic interactions, AI becomes the proverbial python eating its own tail, output becoming input over and over again, the human centipede minus the human part. In contrast with 16th century Austrian royalty in the state of Alabama, incest is typically frowned upon in the computer science community. Like a pug taken on a moderate walk for exercise, these models could collapse. Whether or not that actually happens, and trust me, there are plenty of people trying to make sure that it doesn't, I think the key takeaway is that AI needs us, not the other way around. Tech CEOs and really annoying Redditors may confidently declare that Detroit Become Human is right around the corner. But much like you can't have the singularity in Detroit, at least not yet. Last year it was revealed that Amazon's Just Walk Out locations, stores supposedly using deep learning techniques to automatically charge customers as they walked out the door, actually had to be babysat by hundreds of remote workers, primarily from India. In their book, Ghost Work: How to Stop Silicon Valley from Building a New Global Underclass, anthropologist Mary L. Gray and computer scientist Siddharth Suri pull back the curtain to expose the massive amounts of unrecognized, underpaid human labor that makes artificial intelligence intelligent.
Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Data labelers constantly surveillanced and threatened with termination over small mistakes. Content moderators witnessing unspeakable acts of depravity and violence daily. Workers across India, Kenya, Mexico, and the Philippines paid as low as $1.50 an hour. We treat humans like machines so we can make machines more like humans, so that billionaires can brag about how smart their shiny new toys are.
Conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
An AI with a penchant for chaos. And I'm stuck talking to you.
As long as it gives you actual answers. Does it give you actual answers too? And talk shit?
It's a magic trick, but instead of fake thumb tips and plastic doves, we are misdirected by tech jargon so that we don't notice the predatory outsourcing practices required to put on the show we want to believe. Ta-da! More than anything else, AI needs your attention to survive. It may feel like you, as just one person, can't have much impact, but you can actually do the most important thing. Stop using it. See a post made by AI? Click not interested and keep scrolling. See an AI advertisement? Don't buy what they're selling. If a company lays off a bunch of its artists and replaces them with AI, stand in solidarity with strikes. Sometimes activism really is that unsexy. You can wear a Hunger Games costume and whistle a little bit if that makes you feel better. I actually do believe that there are ethical applications for AI that can improve human life. It can be used to screen mammograms, detecting cancer earlier and more accurately than any doctor could. Remember those goofy Meta Ray-Bans? Well, those glasses are compatible with a service called Be My Eyes, which uses a live video feed to connect blind and low vision users with volunteers. AI-generated captions help make videos more accessible for the hearing impaired and people like me, who literally cannot understand what anyone is saying without them. There even are applications in art, tedious tasks automated so we can focus on the interesting parts. But the path of technological development is determined by a mantra of maximizing profits, so unethical AI use will continue to run rampant unless it is made to be unprofitable. That means boycotting. That means demanding action from our representatives. Can you imagine? Action from our representatives. Let's just say mostly boycotting. If we fight for it, I believe there is a version of the future where humans and AI can coexist.
Oh, how sweet. You're shoehorning some villain redemption arc for me right at the very end. Should we hug it out? Should we kiss?
No.